No one was prepared for the 15-second video clip that Alex Eala shared. Tennis social media exploded. The Women's Tennis Association hurried to minimize the repercussions, and big sports sponsors entered competitive battle within hours. This was neither a formal complaint nor a tantrum. It was a single instance of unvarnished honesty that revealed everything the professional tennis establishment often attempts to hide. An whole multi-billion-dollar business was compelled to choose sides because to a single viral video and an unedited inquiry, it started off much like any other Tuesday night. In Lyon, Alex Eala had just finished a hard 3-set qualifying match that drained all of her physical and mental stamina. The sort when you walk the stairs back to the locker room and your legs shake uncontrollably. The sort you're not in the top 10 yet, so TV cameras never catch you. In her little hotel room, she was by herself. She had neither a traveling coach nor a support crew with her that week. All that would be equal would be her, a smartphone, and the deep fatigue that comes with pursuing a goal that no one ever promised would be fair. Then she made a choice that would drastically change the course of her career. She hit record. The duration of the video was exactly 15 seconds. No filters were used, and the script was not meticulously practiced. It was only Alex sitting on the side of her bed, still dressed in her match clothes, showing off a pair of training shoes with obvious holes in the soles. In the backdrop, her racket bag was unzipped, exposing gear that had obviously been used much. Her eyes were clearly exhausted but amazingly honest, her cheeks heated, her hair still wet from the hard fight. This is what living the dream really looks like, was the heartbreakingly straightforward caption. At 11:47 p.m., she posted it on Instagram, local time, then most likely fell asleep, figuring there would be no more consequences. However, the internet is always active. The video had received 500,000 views by morning. It had exceeded 2 million by noon. Every frame was carefully examined on tennis discussion groups. Her situation was likened to those of other rising stars in Reddit forums. Twitter split between some who said she was ungrateful and others who defended her sincerity. The film revealed an unsettling truth. Tennis relentlessly promotes a dream. The fancy clothes, the private flights, and the champagne parties after Grand Slam triumphs. The years spent competing in challenger tournaments, where prize money barely covers flight home, the many hours spent alone in cheap motels, and the ailments sportsmen endure when tournament withdrawal is difficult due to financial restraints, are all things that the business purposefully conceals. There was no protesting from Alex Eala. She was just being herself, and that genuineness scared established hierarchies. In a matter of hours, the comment area became a war. Her openness was warmly welcomed by several admirers. Over 40,000 people liked a remark that said, "Finally, someone telling the truth." However, corporate accounts were noticeably silent. Public relations professionals were clearly in a panic, realizing that this was more than just a cute behind-the-scenes event. This showed the world that the emperor had no clothing by having a 20-year-old Filipino athlete who was not among the top 100. Her main sponsor, who just launched a worldwide campaign promoting empowering the next generation, showcased glowing athletes wearing immaculate gear on their billboards. Their advertisements depicted dreams coming true. However, one of their own sponsored athletes was standing here, shedding light on the gap between lived reality and marketing story. Alex's main sponsor eventually released a statement 48 hours after the video went viral. At exactly 9 a.m. Eastern Time, it was sent via their official Twitter account. The wording was sophisticated and corporate, just what one would expect from legal teams who put in a lot of overtime. "We are very honored to assist Alex Eala in her tennis endeavors. We continue to be steadfast in our commitment to athlete development. We provide all of our ambassadors complete assistance and are always willing to discuss their requirements. Observe what was left undone. The worn-out shoes were never brought up. They made no attempt to acknowledge the discrepancy between the experiences of athletes and the promises made in advertisements. They used the phrase support 3 times, but they didn't specify what it meant. This evasion was instantly detected by the internet. The tweet had a disastrous response rate within 60 minutes, which is usually only seen during political crises. It was called tone-deaf in thousands of responses. Hundreds underlined that genuine action and discourse are fundamentally different. At the same time, other brands saw opportunity and weakness. An excellent strategic move was made by a rival company that had been fighting for market dominance in the tennis industry for years. They refrained from calling Alex by name or bringing up the topic directly. Rather, they shared a picture of their program for helping athletes along with the following caption: "True support is not a chance for a picture." Athletes at every level, every ranking, and every day are experiencing it. There was no mistaking the connotation. The situation went further with another sportswear company. Their athlete relations vice president posted a thorough thread outlining the specifics of their contracts for developing players, including travel stipends, equipment replacement procedures, mental health services, and performance bonuses that start at the challenger level rather than just Grand Slams. Under the appearance of openness, it was a masterpiece in competitive positioning. Factional fighting occurred on social media. By day 5, the dispute was still raging. The story has attracted the attention of major news cycles. ESPN aired a special segment. A panel discussion was organized by the Tennis Channel. The Alex Eala dispute was reported by mainstream media as a major sports business story. The WTA then deliberately decided to react. At 2 p.m. on Friday, the message was released via official channels, most likely in an effort to reduce immediate criticism before the weekend. But time is irrelevant in the never-ending loop of social media. The WTA values all of our players and the partnerships that enable professional tennis, the statement said. We remind all players of the Player Handbook's professionalism guidelines, which include social media behavior that upholds the honor of our sport. Instead than using public forums to discuss contractual or support issues, players are advised to deal directly with their management and sponsors. Take a close look at the language. Social media behavior, professionalism norms, and private versus public forums. They weren't dealing with the real problem. The person who voiced valid concerns was being tone-policed. The reaction turned out to be swift and disastrous. Current participants started sending pointed subtextual messages within half an hour. Interesting how professionalism always means silence, a player in the top 50 wrote. The WTA's response to Alex Eala tells you everything you need to know, concluded a recently retired multiple Grand Slam champion's lengthy statement that described her own early career troubles. Protecting brand ties is more important to them than player protection. This had gone beyond tennis by the end of the first week. It had developed into a thorough case study on corporate responsibility, athlete empowerment, and brand strategy. On day 8, the CEO, head of athlete relations, and 3 sponsored tennis players who weren't in the top 100 attended a press conference organized by a large brand that had been mostly silent. The Rising Stars Equity Initiative, a comprehensive overhaul of developing athlete assistance, was launched. Regardless of ranking, all sponsored players would receive a $15,000 annual baseline equipment package, automatic gear replacement, tournament travel stipends, access to sports psychology and mental health resources, and performance bonuses starting at the challenger level. We've heard the conversation happening in tennis. The CEO said bluntly, athletes like Alex Eala have showed us the disconnect between their reality and our marketing. We're bridging that gap today. At 7 p.m. on day 12, Alex Eala posted once again on Manila time. It wasn't a well-crafted apology meant to reassure, nor was it a corporate statement that was filtered via PR departments. Alex was sitting in the same hotel room, staring straight at the camera while sporting a basic t-shirt. That video wasn't an attack on anyone, she said in a composed but serious tone for 2 minutes and 43 seconds. It wasn't a grievance. It was only an honest moment after a very trying day. However, I've come to see that many individuals shared my reality. She then said, "I'm not sorry for being honest," which would be widely repeated. I can't be, because if being honest made others uncomfortable, perhaps that discomfort was justified. I can accept that the system might be improved while yet appreciating what I have. Perhaps the purpose of my truth is to make you uncomfortable. Perhaps suffering is the first step toward transformation. The tennis world was still dealing with the fallout 3 weeks after a 15-second video completely transformed the game. In Prague, Alex participated in her subsequent competition. She won in straight sets in her first qualifying match. Journalists who had never covered a qualifying round before crowded the news conference that followed. The companies that had fought in the public eye cleverly repositioned themselves. Positive brand sentiment skyrocketed for the firm that started the Rising Stars Equity Initiative. Their list of athletes grew considerably. Alex's first sponsor discreetly revised their contracts, expanding support structures and improving equipment packages. Players from various locations, career phases, and ranking levels were part of the task group that the WTA created, and it met for the first time in week 4. Substantial discussions over prize money distribution, travel assistance, and mental health services were recommended by early reports. Other professional sports groups kept a close eye on everything. Athlete assistance concepts were discussed internally by the basketball, soccer, and golf player organizations. Alex's incident sparked discussions regarding how professional sports handle young players that went beyond tennis. The cultural shift was perhaps the biggest. Young athletes felt free to talk openly about their experiences and to discuss both their highlights and challenging times. Alex Eala had no intention of starting a revolution. After a long day, she just wanted to share a moment of truth. However, the disparity between the ideal we promote and the realities players face was revealed by that fact, which the tennis community had long overlooked. A single viral video turned into a movement. Companies fought each other on athlete support. The WTA had to face difficult questions. The players found their voices. And whole business was forced to choose between safeguarding its athletes and preserving its reputation. The narrative goes on.